Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Initiative Order and the continuation of episode 5 of the Evermore Tales, the Samurai and the Dragon. So, thank you, everybody who's able to check us out. And before we begin, just a special amount of thank yous for our sponsors. The first one being Norse Foundry Games with the amazing dice that they make. I know I had a couple of them from a couple of the sets we're playing with today. And I know some of our players are using them as we speak. So, the other one I want to give is to Session Zero Clothing, as I know also myself, and there's a couple of also other players who own their t-shirts, and they are amazing. So check out their designs. Mithril Armory Gaming, and I can always mess this one up. The tinhedral dice, the one that you can fold and to make into the D20. We got to use those as some of our live games, so I love them. I didn't bring mine today, so that's the only thing. So I put it in my backpack. The thing is so travel. I just take it with me to every game I go. And then the last one is myself, GotDM. So from that part, I think there's nothing else to look at that. I mean, if you look at our website, you can find out some of our tabletop accessories and some of the dice towers and some of the 3D prints that we have available. Oh yeah, they're right. So why don't we begin with just a little about our players, and then we'll begin with, let's go with Joey.
Hello, I'm Jess. You can find me at Rising Valkyrie on Instagram or at Rising Valkyrie J on Twitter, which I don't really use, so good luck if you do check it out. A lot of my promos are on my Instagram stories and on my posts, so you can find me there or anything that's coming up, especially with D'Angelo, that I'll be doing a lot more projects with him on his channel, and obviously the latest episode of this, which I am so happy to be here with these amazing people.
Excellent. Let's go with London. London, on mute.
I was so excited. I jumped right into it. You couldn't hear me. Hi, people. My name is London Carlisle. I play Mujun. Very excited to be back after missing the last session, but thanks to everybody for having me back here. Outside of this, you can find me at Spot Hidden, a Call of Cthulhu show that I do with my friends. Also on the Paizo Twitch every Wednesday for Secrets of Magic, great Pathfinder stream. But today, ready to bring back the Astral Arm. So let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Let's go with Josh.
Oh, well, hello. My name is Josh of NPC Voices. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, one day OnlyFans, and hopefully you'll follow me any and all of those. I am playing the all-incredible and amazing Ivan. He's very much Norse, Celtic, Viking, sexy man themed, tall mofo, probably, I think, tallest in the party. But definitely the quirkiest amongst the group of just being always a jokester and loves scaring kids away and tackling them through walls. If you want to catch me anywhere else, you want to check my Twitch. And on Monday nights, I usually run a game called Children of Dirt at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So yeah.
Excellent. And let's go with Yuki.
Hi guys, I'm Utahime, cosplayer and streamer and TTRPG performer on various shows. You can catch me on the socials of the medias at Utahime Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch, where I occasionally stream different variety of games, and Brianna DeCoster on Twitter. And I am playing my sharp-witted, fierce queen, who's a high elf sorceress, Yuki, who's ready to layeth the smackdown on evildoers. Let's go.
And last but not least, Toshiro.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming by. My name is Keith. You can find me on IG. I am not Kevin Bacon. Twitter, I think it's all that D&D, but like Jess, I'm not on there too often. And at some point, I'll start streaming again with the Twitch tag Aloha808 again. And today I play Toshiro Miyazaki, Protectorate of Qorvi.
Excellent. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll that intro. everybody. That's again when we get caught right between jokes. All right, so just to kind of paint the picture for everybody, because I know before we left last episode, there was a lot going on. Where I'm going to start everybody at the backdrop of all of this is that you would have seen the village of Maasen on fire. Most of the fields that are smoldering, you would have seen the smoke coming over the ridgeline. The bay that is right in front of the precious village that has all of these pagodas aligned to it. All of our warriors, both Ivan, Yuki, Toshiro, Joyi, and Mujun would have came all the way to the edge of this. And at the point where Yuki would have looked to everybody and told everybody to stay together, each of them ran into the village on their own accords. You would have seen Ivan had gone into the house of Lamb and seen this wild creature and essentially had to run through these paper walls to kind of get these children out of the way. And so he's actually there battling this just horrid, decrepit creature with its many I would say it looks rather disturbing. Where I was going to put Joyi was she had actually escaped from the house Lamb down to the villages or the main area downside where the bay would be. And at that point, she was facing this rather large warrior of her house, a gentleman known as the Bear. He's an old general, but from the looks on his eyes, he had been overtaken with what is the evil that is ruining this place of Qorvi. The other one we would have seen is Yuki and Toshiro run towards the house Miyazaki, and both of them are currently in battle with some of Toshiro's own men, as well as this Oni. Where I'm going to do before we begin all of this is Mujun. I'll let you choose. You have the battle that's currently happening in the House Lamb with Ivan. You have the battle that's currently happening at the dead set in the town below with Joyi and the Bear. You have the battle at House Miyazaki with Toshiro and as well as the swordsman and the Oni, and where Yuki is also fighting for her life. Where would you like to go?
Who has the most enemies against them?
Currently, right now, I would say at the total summary is Yuki and Toshiro, because they're fighting the Oni and they're also fighting a number of the warriors.
Okay, I'll go with them.
Okay, so where we will begin on this is you are running over to this area where it looks like House Miyazaki. The pagoda itself is completely darkened, except what looks like a fog that's been settled in. If you would have walked inside, you would have had your at least the awareness to at least have your arms extended. But the footprints that you go into this, the steps that you go forward, it goes into an open area about 70 feet across. Where I would give you is as you walk through the fog, to the right of you, you would see Yuki with her sword. To the left of you, you would see Toshiro with his sword extended. And then that's where the visage of both this Oni flanked with these warriors are. I have all three of you in the position in the middle of the area. I have all three of you with your weapons drawn. Before we begin with this, Mujun, we've already rolled for initiative, so I'm going to fit you in here, but I'm going to give you first actions for today. You have the warriors, those several warriors that are weapons out, and they look like they are ready to do some damage against you. And you have this Oni, which has its big giant halberd out. It's snarling at its mouth, and it has its weapons ready to do battle. What would you like to do?
I'm going to. Are the warriors between me and this Oni, or do I have a straight shot at the Oni?
I would say if you like to go the straight shot to the Oni, because that's when the battle will start to get kind of organic, and I'll tell you exactly from there. So I'm going to get you where you fit in. So if you'd like to pick the fight with the Oni, and then I'll show you where that goes from there.
Yes, he's going straight for the Oni.
Okay, so with the Oni, Yuki, do you remember what you were fighting up against? Were you fighting against the warriors or the Oni?
I was fighting against the warriors because Yuki wanted Toshiro to technically face the Oni himself. So if Yuki does see Mujun going towards the Oni, she's going to yell out, "It is his battle. Come and assist me."
Okay. Hearing that, it takes him a couple seconds to process and to stop. But hearing that directing voice from someone he looks up to, he falls back and turns directly to the closest swordsman to him to attack.
So you have one of the swordsmen there. He's got one of the bluish blades out. You see him swing over. It's enough for you to react. What would you like to do?
Cool. I'm going straight in for a hit from one of the astral arms.
Give it to me and give me your attack. Let me know what you got.
Let's do it.
Okay. Go to Yuki next and then Toshiro.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 to hit. You go with your swing with your hand, the clenched fist. The first thing as you notice is he takes his blade and tries to block it. One of the things you notice, though, is it goes right through the metal and right onto the target. You go ahead and give me your damage. How much damage do you do?
5 points of damage.
5
that
points
is force.
of damage. Oh, nice, nice. And you go to separate. It's almost as if when you punch them, you can see what looks like this spiritual form begin to blast backwards, but it's not enough to separate it. So you see it just go right back into it, and you would see him go right back with that weapon. Anything else from you?
Okay. That's it for now.
Excellent, excellent. So after the hit, you go to move. You would see this thing go to take the swipe. Easily for you to move to the side. Let's go to Yuki as these 7 warriors begin to circle around Mujun. Yuki, what would you like to do?
In that moment, you would see where Yuki is moving her arms, and it's almost like she's doing a dance. Like it's not really looking martial in form. And when she does that, there is a almost like a mist that kind of seems to leave her where her hands are moving, and it shapes what looks like a naginata.
Yep.
And it's large in size. She's casting spiritual weapon.
Got it.
And basically pushing it over actually near where Mujun is fighting with the soldiers in that direction.
Okay.
So if there's multiple in that area, she's placing it so that way if they try to move towards her or move closer to Mujun, then the weapon would, of course.
And you would see
attack.
2 more of those soldiers walk up forward, their blades extended out, and it's almost as if they jump and try to attack. The same time, Mujin, you would just see this Naginata just block it, and it's at the same time when the weapons touch the blade, it almost as if it's like ash trying to move away, like it just goes, and you see it just kind of rip to the side. Those 2 warriors, you have the spiritual weapon blocking up front. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yes. So then once that happens, she again is still in that movement, and she basically with 2 hands extended, first with the left, there's a force push that where it almost looks as if with the fabric of her kimono, as if it kind of extends into a fire essence, and she's doing firebolt, but then she also too moves with the other side, doing the same movement, and releasing another firebolt, doing using sorcery point to do twin spell for firebolt.
Oh, okay. Is this going to be at the same target or or 2 targets?
Two targets.
Give me both your rolls and let me know what you got.
That's dope.
All right, that was awesome. Toshiro, you're up
dope.
next.
Okay, and then for one of them, it is a 18, and the
Excellent.
other is a 16.
All right, so I will get both of them. The first one that you throw is enough to go through his defenses as the same thing with the blade. And the first thing that you notice is that it moves towards him and it has this golden spark as it arches directly away from his blade to hit. Give me your damage and let me know what you got.
All right.
And
And
then
that's
same thing.
eight points of damage for that one, and 9 points of damage for the other.
9 points of damage for the other one. And then you would see both of them, they would actually go and move backwards. And the same thing as the fire blast hits them right behind it. It is almost as if their spirit just tries to jump out, and then that just gets pulled right back in, as if whatever's evil entangling them, it's too strong. 2 of the men have been hit with 8 or 9 points of damage each. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That is basically my amount that I can do.
Excellent.
So basically all she will do is make sure that she has her hand attached to the hilt of her katana, ready for action.
Your blade, that spiritual Naginata, is moving around trying to block as much as it can with Mujin. Mujin, the strike that you did, you're fast enough but you're also noticing that these warriors, There's a demonic look to them. They're snarling. They hit the weapon. It's a lot of this is with Yuki preventing the damage. These fire blasts going around you. Let's go to Toshiro. Toshiro, as this is all happening, all but a couple of feet away from you, you can see this Oni put its hands up and then just do this right to its wall, and it's almost like the both of you get flown back. But it's just to separate you from all of this chaos, and you know exactly what it's doing because the fog begins to separate between the both of you and you're staring at this thing. What would you like to do?
So distance?
You're looking at maybe 50 feet, if that.
Okay. Can I use the abilities of my today samurai?
I wish you could.
So I can move into the distance? Okay.
Toshiro
See
hold
here.
is very different from Toshiro today.
Yeah, I like my other build. That's better. I like growing up Toshiro better.
Yeah, right. What would you like to do?
Okay, that wow, that threw a curveball at me.
And
Yeah.
judging by the way it looks at you, you can actually see it as it pulls out its weapon and kind of just gives you this look. The other part too is if you take a step forward, even just an inch, you would also see what looks like the spiritual image behind this thing start to manifest. And it looks like the face of a dragon that has pieces of it fall off. It's the first time you've ever seen one of this thing, but the way you're looking at it, it is leaving an imprint on you as if this is what a demon really is. It is leaving an imprint on you that one of these days you're going to have to face this head on, and this is your moment right now. What would you like to do?
And I can't get there and do anything.
That's smart.
So on instinct, because I know nothing else but to go after this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna run after it, and I guess I am going to dash also.
And at the dash, how fast are you going to go? Using your wings, or are you just going with your feet?
I can finish flying.
Okay.
So
You
I'll
go,
run 30 and then finish with the 20 flying.
and you start to fly right at him, and you would see the same thing. He'd bring out the weapon. How does your sword look like right now?
So if I'm flying, I would think it's still overhand.
Overhand. The minute looks like you're about 5 feet from each other. He takes his weapon, and you would just see the both of you, and you would just see these sparks go right to the side. You are about 5 feet from him as he rushes to meet you. What would you like to do, Toshiro?
So with the dash, that takes up my action. So
Okay.
that would be all I can do.
All right, excellent. And you see at the same point, this is the part he looks at you, and you get this feeling now that you're that close. The minute he puts his hands up, the minute he looks at you, you can see right behind him, it almost looks like this dragon lich has created a visage of itself, and it moves up, and you can see its head look right at you, and it melds its spirit into this Oni as the Oni just goes.
So seeing that, I'm gonna be taken aback because I don't know any of this kind of spiritual experience before. This is like a first time thing. Everything I know about dragon is myth and legend. So yeah, I would still stand my ground, but kind of pull back a little bit more.
You would see this thing look at you directly. Let's go with Ivan. Let's go with Zhou Yi. At the house lamb, Ivan, seeing Zhou Yi, and you gave her the command to run as far as possible. You had rushed through the door, you had rushed through and grabbed those children as you kind of stumbled outwards and faced this horrid looking beast that has pretty much her belly kind of going over, one breast exposed, and a hand full and covered with what looks like gore and muck. The smell of it all is what gets you at first. What would you like to do?
He's just gonna pat himself off from the dust and the dirt that he slid underneath the creature's legs to tackle the children. He stands back up. Oh, I'm fucking tired. Stay together, don't stay together. Eat, don't eat, water, every fucking where. He's gonna like just be moving forward. He's gonna reach back and just fully untie the eye patch. He's just gonna put that in his pocket. Let's talk, shall we? Why are you doing this? For what purpose does it serve?
And you would see a chain getting thrown at you. It easily goes right. I mean, it's one of those things where it just shoots right past your head. At the end of this chain is a hook. It misses. She whips it back and hears. And you can just see as her neck peels back, what looks like another mouth show up. Parts of it look like it's been stitched open. Parts of it look like teeth that have been placed inside of the neck. Her head bends back forward, and this ichor begins to roll backwards out of her neck. All you can hear is, let's talk. And she just starts to walk her way towards you. I think her version of talk is a lot different than yours, though. What would you like to do?
I still have my shield. And I see the exit is past her or back the way I came.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As he's going to just pull out his hand axe, swing it a few times. Let's do this. As he's just going to run straight for her and shield up, axe up. Yeah, I what's the light like in this area?
The light that you look at right now, because when we left, it was sort of getting dusk or to darkness. So right about now, you're looking at it's completely dark. Some of the illumination that you would have here just comes from the parts of the lights that you would have seen coming from the streets. But in your area, all it is moonlight. So you're fighting this creature probably with just moonlight or just minor illumination.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Then this is what I'll do. As he runs toward, he sort of wipe his hand down from his shoulder down to his hand. And also, what is he seeing through his left eye?
And you see that creature. I mean, as it moves over, it has all these spirits stuck to it. You see this creature readying its hook to see if it tries to gaff you while you're coming across. You had slid under its legs at that one time, so this time where it's doing it, it's lowered its body in preparation for you to come at it. So it is ready for you to see if you can try to pull that move again.
He is going to same pose, wipe the hand across, and as he gets the elbow, the shadows coalesce and then come down to the axe head where he's going to cast light on it, and this bright light comes out from it. And he's hoping to get that cast almost right as he's about to hit into the creature, and he's going to try and roll around to the left side of it.
Excellent. With your attack, are you trying to hit the face at all, or are you trying to hit, like, what part of the body are you hitting?
I'm trying to get the Achilles heel on the back left side as he spins, so he can try and just keep running past to get back.
Give me your attack roll, and I'll let you know what you got.
38.
Nice. How do you know your player's cheating? It's 48. What you got?
But off my cock, it is a nat 20.
Nice. There we go, baby. You roll right around, and with your axe, it cuts right into the leg. And at the same time, you would see it's part of that. Since the fact that you're looking at almost this thing about 400 pounds, it cuts the back of the ankle and it bends under its own weight. And that's when you can hear that bone on bone crack as its part like just stumbles over like an elephant foot. You roll, it moves down, it tries to plant its arm. So it's going to be considered prone at this point. Is there anything else you want to do?
Okay.
And we'll go to Joey next.
Sorry. How far is the open gate from me?
You're looking at that open gate about 30 feet from your location. So you've got 30 feet, and there's got a creature here that's going to be considered prone.
And then another question. We've hit this creature multiple times.
Yes.
But each time it seemed like it hasn't really done anything to the creature. Does it look injured at all?
I mean, from what you can tell, their injuries keep closing on themselves. Yeah. But from what you can also tell is that initial cut does seem to do something. It just seems to close after it.
He's going to run to the open gate
and
look out. if he can get there.
So you would just ignore the creature and just run to the open gate as fast as you can.
When you put it that way, no, because either way, he's trying to make a stand. He's trying to protect. He's going to be at the back of the creature, and he can't get another attack this round, but he's going to hold his weapon up and, well, he said, let's talk.
All right. We'll keep you there. Go to you, Joey, the bear, as you know him, with his armor, his weapon in hand, the person that taught you everything you know to be a soldier. The same madness set into his eyes and the same madness in the cracked skin you have around his lips. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna get into a fighting stance with both my scimitars out.
Okay.
Low enough body, so trying to focus on my kind of flexibility and movement.
And
I
even
think
with, go ahead.
I'm gonna start to circle with him in this middle of this square.
And it's that you start to move. If you looked at this kind of the third person perspective, the size comparison, your footsteps, you take about 3 or 4 to his 1, but you can also tell with the bear moving, it's very lumbering. And that's the part why you keep low, is you can tell by the way he moves his knees, by the way he moves his weapons. Age and time has gotten to this person. And you kind of keeping a low stance, what else would you like to do?
I'd like to stare at him and say in Kanto, in our original language, say yeah, I don't want to hurt you, but I will if I must. General.
See the weapon that comes out. He has every intention to hurt you.
What's the distance?
You're looking at about 15 feet.
15 feet. Okay. All right. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Just trying to think. Okay, yeah, I'm going in for an attack with both my scimitars.
Okay.
I am moving forward. Yeah.
All right.
It's staying low. Okay, that is 2 18s to hit.
2 18s. You would see this legendary action being used as a blade comes right down. And at the same point, you would actually go, pivot your foot, move to the side. Both your 18s hit. You rolled a 10 and missed. Go ahead and give me your damage and let me know what you got.
God, I'm shitting myself today.
Go for it.
Right, okay, so that is a 8 and a 6.
8 and a 6. 8 points of damage and 6 points of damage. The blade cuts. When you cut to his arms, are you going for one arm or are you going just 2 random cuts? What are you doing with this? How would you like to describe it?
I'm going for. Do I know which is his dominant hand? I must know, right?
His right hand, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which side did I go around? Sorry.
To his left.
To his left.
Yep.
Right. I'm chopping off his whole fucking arm. I don't care today. I am chopping off here, right there, that shoulder, and also that bit there.
And so that's where the cuts would go. As you would see him move downwards, and that same part that would move down, you would recognize even during practice, the old bear was slow. So you go for a kick, you go with the slide of the blade, it goes right into his shoulder. The next one goes right into his forearm, and you slide downwards. It's enough not to separate his arms, but it's definitely enough that he knows that he's not to be messing around with you. You slide backwards and you look right at him, and he's just gonna just holds up his arm. As you can see, it's almost about to detach. Anything else from you?
So I've backed up. How far am I from now with that slide?
You're looking about maybe 5 feet, if that, 10 feet.
Okay.
Yep.
5 feet. Okay. Let me have a think. I already used my action surge.
What we got?
Yeah. No, I'm good, actually. I'm
Okay.
right for now. Yeah, I'm gonna wait it out.
All right, let me go ahead and roll my attacks against. Let's go down the line. So I'll start with Joey and then work my way down. Joey, you have 2 attacks from the bear. Just a quick question. I got an 8 and a 16.
Neither hit.
Oh, there you go. The first slices down with the axe, and you can tell the same again. He's slow. You move, you twist, you turn. That other part, you actually bring both your scimitars up, and it's the other part, brute strength versus technique, because the way you have the blades, it's enough to stop him from moving the attack, and you push him away. That attack misses. Let's go ahead and I'll go to Ivan. Being around, you would have seen this thing turn its head 360 and its tongue lash right at you. It was a 17 hit.
Barely hits.
Okay. I need a Constitution saving throw when you get a chance.
No. That is going to be am I trained in it? Of course I'm not. That's going to be a 19 to save.
Excellent. That saves, so you won't take an additional poison damage, but you would see this tongue fork out and go right into your shoulder.
Yeah.
The thing about this is most spears, when they go into your shoulder, it's a cold then a warm feeling. The thing about this tongue is the minute it pierces your skin, you can feel it doing this. And you can feel that wet part of ichor start to burn your skin, and it starts to cauterize it. The other part is you can feel it begin to fork outwards as it tries to open up that hole even a little bit larger.
Whoa.
It tries to get up, and you can see this thing going, and it tries to get closer to you as it tries to lick the side of your face. Let's go to, I love my description on that one. Let's go to Yuki and Toshiro and Mujun.
The freak, right?
The 7 warriors.
Welcome to Evermore.
We're going against Mujun.
And do any of them move within 5 feet of that spectral weapon?
Yes. And the one that I would say comes up to you is you would see this thing jump as high as it possibly can, bring its blade downwards. What would you like to do as this thing comes within 5 feet of that spiritual weapon?
The weapon does react,
Okay.
and I basically am trying to counter it with that because it's not concentration. So it
Yep. Give me an attack. Let me know what you got.
And that is 23 to hit.
Oh, give me your damage. Let me know what you got.
Already?
You're muted. I can't hear you. No, type it in the chat.
6 points of damage.
There you go, 6 points. And so this one was already hit before. So question I have for you, as your spiritual weapon brings up, that Naginata goes to attack. How do you want to kill this one warrior? So we'll bring it down to 6.
So basically, when it counters,
Yep.
it swings and slices the head directly off of
And
its shoulders.
you see it cut. And at the same point, recognizing the fact that the head falls to the ground, you recognize that this is still a warrior of House Miyazaki as his head falls down, and you would see the spirit just begin to separate and then just look as if it's confused of where it's at. You'd see it begin to float, but it stays there within the fog as if it's trapped within the fog itself. You've got 1 warrior down and 6 more to go. The other warriors that did the attack, a lot of them missed. So I got 8s and about 3 4s. So that's going to be fun. So Mujin, for the most part, as these warriors are hitting you or trying to hit you with its swords, how do you want to block this? Like, what does it look like when you block their weapons?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it's also those arms that are sort of like blocking a lot of the things as I dip in and out. You're sort of weaving between them as well. But I take a moment to look over at Yuki. I'm not helping you. You're helping me. Is what I say after seeing that spiritual weapon sort of take out that other one.
Excellent. So let's go with the Oni itself. The Oni and the attacks. The Oni, I'm going to make 2 attacks. Oh boy, that is a 21 and a 5.
To me?
To Toshiro.
Ooh, the 21 is close, but yeah, it hits.
Oh my god, that is a rarity. I never get to hit Toshiro. All right. That's going to be 11 points of damage as you get hit with this weapon.
Is it just straight damage?
Straight damage. Yep. Straight damage on this one. It hasn't decided to use its powerful weapon yet. So as it does it to cut you, it goes to move to the side, mostly in preparation for the next attack. Let's go back to the top. Mujin, right up to you, as Mujin, Yuki, and Toshiro are still in this arena. Now that Toshiro and this Oni have separated or moved over further away from you, you have 6 of these warriors, one of them down to the ground. You have this spiritual Naginata that is moving around and trying to block, as well as this very powerful high elf sorcerer casting Firebolt and a number of spells over Mujin. What do you want to do?
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go to, am I able to sort of get between several warriors at once?
That's correct. If you want to put yourself in the fold in the middle of them, you can.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just sort
Okay.
of get right in the middle of them. The closest one, the first one, I'm going to also go for just a hit with one of my hands. You know, like a
Go for it.
nice strong hit there. Let's see. 7 to hit.
Oh, and the first go, as you go to swipe in, they would take their weapon and block with it. And that's the other part. As he blocks, he goes and tries to trap your arm. What else would you like to do?
Okay, good thing I have 3 other arms.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a key point to do flurry of blows or 2 more hits. 1 to that guy again. Let's see if that hits. That'll be a 21 to hit.
You hit the first hit. Go ahead and give me your damage on the first one.
That damage will be 6 damage.
6
I'm
damage.
trying to get my arm out.
All right. You see as him drop it, and at the same point where he drops it, you can see that he's sort of getting bloodied from the shot. That shot was a good crack to the face, but you can also see where the previous point with Yuki might have hit him with a firebolt. So what else would you like to do?
We're gonna send another arm back and up to someone that's behind me.
Go for it.
For my last hit here. That is 12 to hit.
12. You go right from the back, and at that point, that's where he goes and tries to block your arm again. And it's that same point where he brings the sword over and tries to block it where your arm's kind of exposed, where they can hit you here. Is there anything else you have?
That's action and bonus action.
Okay, so that's what you see. Yuki now with the Naginata in the direction. It's trying to block against one, but you can see with Mujin and his arm exposed, he's got about his front exposed, and about those other warriors look like they're going to try to take that as an opportunity to hit him. Is there any other things that you'd like to do?
Yes. So, so basically, Yuki is commanding the spectral weapon to move basically now to position. So then that way it can be on alert if that action does take place. So just moving it where obviously it's positioned where it needs to be 5 feet within that enemy. And then she's going to after having blocked with her katana those attacks from the warrior, she places it back into its hilt, and she does the same actions again to firebolt and twin the spell. So she's basically doing the same thing where it's the fire kind of extending out from her kimono with each hit, and hopefully they land.
Okay, give me your attacks and let me know what you got.
Okay, so we have a dirty 20 for the first
nice.
one.
All right, I'll take the dirty 20.
And we have a 21 for the second.
Not both hits. Yeah, let's go for it. Actually, and the 2 that you're going to hit do look sort of bloodied, as they were ones that previously you had hit with firebolt before. So let me know what you got.
Okay, so for that one, it is a 6.
Okay.
And an 8.
6 and an 8. How do you want to kill both of them?
So as you see, she's doing the movement, and you just see the force of that. Both of those hits just hit them in their center mass, just basically going through their bodies and exiting out the other side. And in doing so, you do see where in that process there is a sadness that, because Yuki, it hurts her to have to go to these measures, but in order for the greater good, she knows that she has to do what she's doing currently.
And it's that as they begin to burn, you would see the firebolt go through them, and the same 2 spirits, Mujin. There are now 3 spirits locked in this fog with you. Toshiro, let's go to you. You are against the Oni. The Oni had made the attacks, did a little bit of damage, but what would you like to do as it stands right from you? You're about 5 feet.
Okay, when it attacked, where did it strike?
It struck your shoulder here. I tried to strike your shoulder.
Okay, so with that, I would have buckled down. You would see him, especially Yuki, would notice that he's kind of struggling a little bit to get back his balance. He's going to come back up, and you said I'm within striking distance?
That's correct.
So I'm going to pull the sword back up again to the right.
Okay.
I'm going to make a step forward to its left shoulder and feign a strike at it. But right as I'm ready to close in for a strike, I'm going to reach this hand out and I'm going to see if I can pull out a bag of tricks. And I'm going to use healing hands, but more in the sense of a protector Azamar would on a foe, because I see this as basically my opposite. So I'm not trying to heal it. I'm trying to see if I can make an effect on it to either leave, break the lock on the soldiers, or anything like that.
Give me your attack and let me know what you got.
Well, it's healing hand. So
healing hand. So let me go ahead.
It's
so you place your hand on this thing, and that's the part here, Toshiro. As you go to touch this thing grabs your hand, and you feel your hand go completely numb. And this is what you would feel and see: complete darkness beginning to cover your hand. You'd also see it begin to smile as you would see this dragon behind it. It's all but a spiritual figure, but it seems to look at you directly in the face. It looks at you as if it's the weakest thing in the world, and you would see it hold on to your hand. Whatever thought or opportunity of you grabbing onto this thing is slowly going away as you can feel this is pure evil. Is there anything you'd like to do before it does not want to let you go? And in fact, as it holds on to your hand, you would see it begin to bend this way. The only difference is it's doing it nice and slow, because you can hear the crack of bone right between your wrists as what feels like your radius is going.
Well, I don't have any magic like my sensei does. So, I got nothing as a bonus action.
Okay, I'll keep you there.
So I would kind of have that grimace and start kind of succumbing to the pain a little bit.
Okay, you would see it's going to get advantage with this attack because it's an attack that it's going to do while holding on your arm. Go. Okay. That is a 17 and a 22. So the higher on the 22.
Ooh, 22 was close, but it does hit.
Okay, here we go. You take 11 points of slashing damage as it cuts you and holds your hand, as you would see it just and you'd see the sheer force of it push you backwards, and it juts you right forward again just to bring you closer to it. The other people seeing Toshiro, because you're distance away, you can see the back of them, and it's almost like you hear this. It sounds like somebody taking a baseball bat to a big chunk of beef as it hits, and then you can hear this, and it grabs his arm and just rips him right towards them again. Let's go to...
Yuki will yell out, "Do not lose focus." And that's all she says. Like, while because she's like, she can see it out of the corner of her eye, but she's trying to stay focused, and she's trying to also encourage Toshiro in that moment.
At the same time, Yuki, you would see this thing grab what looks like parts of the ground, throw its hands, and the fog gets really dense around Toshiro and him. And you would hear this thing: "I told you he was more. I told you you should have left him here." And you can see the whole thing begin to get real thick like pea soup. You can't hear Toshiro. You can't hear this creature. Let's go with Ivan. Ivan?
I'll pass. Freak.
This creature.
The creature.
His head is bent backwards. Its tongue is trying to actively probe this incision that you have in your shoulder. It is trying to peel it apart as if it's trying to get more of its tongue into you. What would you like to do?
How about you take me on the first stage first? I don't like to know you that well. As he's going to swing underneath his arm, his axe upward into the open maw, the gaping maw, as someone put it, of the creature. And then he'd like to drive the shield into the back of it, trying to just decapitate this creature.
Give me an attack roll. Let me know what you got.
Come on, nat 20 again. Nat 20 again. Nat 20 again. That's not a nat 20. But that's, I think, going to be a 16.
16. All right. So that first axe to the throat, you would actually look and bend and just, and it makes that whipping sound that you would get right into a bag of like just wet meat, because you hear this and it slits right in. That axe goes right into its throat. You got the back of the shield. Give me the attack on that.
Okay. Also, I'm sorry, it was a 15. Does that still hit?
I'll give it to you.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I've already described it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's a natural. That's a natural 18 on the die.
Okay, I'll give you on the 18. Go ahead and and that last part that you would go, give me your damage and let me know what you got.
Okay. This one. Okay, that's going to be 5 damage from the axe, and then I'm not sure what to roll for the shield.
Give me just you know what? Give me we'll call it a D6 on bludgeon.
Hey, nice. Cocked. Okay. Plus anything?
No, your strength.
Okay, that's going to be a 7 damage from the shield.
7 damage. So okay. How do you want to cut this thing's head off?
Whoa! Okay. He's swing under, cuts into it, and he feels if there is any sort of spinal column. He feels it catch there, and just every hammer just.
It's exactly that. Yeah, keep going.
You are not worthy, as he's just going to break all the way through, slicing, and then if the body topples, you don't deserve to wear the smile.
And it would just fall to the ground. And the part where you had your axe, about the third smack with that shield, it's kind of like the spinal column was getting caught with the metal until that last part with the shield just slides right through and just makes that complete cut. Head falls to the ground. You can see the teeth that are just staring upwards like daggers and the same pinpoints, pieces of meat stuck between each of the teeth. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
He'd like to lean down and poke it with the top part of the blade with the axe, and you should have just talked. As he's going to push off of it, and he's going to turn and start running towards the gate.
All right, you go to run. Let's go to Yu Zhouyi against the bear. The bear itself, you'd see as he goes to attack, and you realizing that this demonic entity or this demonic power that it's going at it doesn't give them anything else other than the fervor or the intent to at least hurt or harm. You can see the old bear with his weapon, the same madness in his eyes. What would you like to do?
I just pushed him off of me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm standing, I'm assuming?
I would say yes.
Yeah, okay. I am going to reach down to my hip and with the other side of my hand, so just the last bit of my hand here, on my dominant hand, I'm gonna I'm trying to think. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is switch my scimitar to my other hand. So it's double-edged now, double-sided almost. So it's 2 scimitars within my hand, on my left hand. I am also gonna whip my fan out of my hip and pan it. And you'll find out that it is on the edges, basically traditional Chinese fan with embroidery, but on the back of it, as you won't see, is actually a sheet of just metal. It is a bladed fan.
All right.
Yeah. So she's got double-sided scimitar there, and she's got a metal fan in her other hand.
So dope.
And she's like, I told you I don't want to hurt you, but I will. And I will not hold back. I know you taught me everything, but I will not hold back. Not when that's in you. And I'll go in for another attack with everything that I have.
Give me your attacks and let me know what you got.
What would you consider the fan, though?
I would give your fan, just give me consider it a dagger at this point, just because of the way you're going to introduce it. So if you'd like to throw it, go ahead, or if you'd like to stab it.
I want a stabby stab, but I don't know.
All right, you'll add your D4. It'll be just like considered as a dagger, so you'll do your normal attack. Add your
okay.
As well.
I don't math, dude. Just give me a second. Let me add that. Does anyone know what a dagger's like a modifier shit is? I don't know.
D4, and it's either your dex or your strength, whichever one's higher.
Okay, cool. Okay, same as everything else. Okay, cool. So that is so that is a 12 to hit. One of them.
Okay.
And then that is another 18 to hit for the scimitars. Is that
Okay.
count? Yeah.
So I'll give you 18 on the scimitars. The only thing I was
Yeah.
going to say, if you're going to attack with the fan first, that 12
Yeah.
that you're going in with, that's definitely
Yeah.
not going to hit. And that's
Yeah.
what you would see is it would bounce right off, like you would stab right at
Yeah.
his armor. The scimitars that you would see, the one that you would hit on the 18, give me the damage on that 18. What you got?
So yeah. So wait, hold on. So am I rolling one roll for the scimitars and then
Yeah.
one for the
That's
fan,
correct.
yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. That is a 7 damage on that.
On the daggers?
Yeah.
On the dagger? Okay. The fan.
On the scimitars.
Yep.
No,
Oh,
wait, what?
Okay, you got 7 damage on the scimitars?
7 damage on the scimitars.
Okay, now
yes.
give me your fan. You
Okay,
missed
now
with the
give me-
fan. Yeah, you missed with the fan. So here's what it looks like. Your
I'm
fan
confused.
misses, the scimitars hit.
Yeah.
You would see this creature or itself go for the next weapon attack in. Is there anything else you'd like to do before it makes its attack?
Nothing I can do particularly, but I'm gonna hold up my fan at him and just kind of get ready with the fan
Okay,
and the scimitar's behind the fan.
Oh.
So it'd be kind of cross like that.
that is a nat 20.
Fair enough.
Okay, all right, so here we go. We'll take the double. You take 14 points of slashing damage as this thing goes and cuts you with its sword. And not only that, but what you would see as you do it, you would see what looks like that first hit or that first attack. You would see it grab you, pick you up, and it's that part where you would have that same part of grace. You've shown what technique does against strength, but this one picks you up and slams you as hard as it can onto the ground. I'm going to do one slam attack.
Okay.
That's 25. All right.
So wait, how much damage overall?
I'll tell you at the very end.
Okay.
25. That's another 11 points of damage. So that's a total so far of 25.
Yeah, I'm out. No, wait, no, not total 25.
Total
Okay.
25 points of damage.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
mind. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me calculate this shit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
What are you at right now?
7.
Okay. So Ivan, that's what I would show you is as you run out of this building, you would actually see Zhou like it's almost as if like if you've ever seen somebody punch like an arm, it looks like Zhou Yi's holding on to the arm as if trying to put this person into an arm lock.
Okay.
She's got her legs wrapped around. She's got this fan out and the scimitar, and she's trying to bend his arm outwards. But this person, as you can see in full plate mail, just grabs her and just throws her as hard as you can onto the ground. And it's not even like a part where you'd hear somebody go like, oh, like that, just lose all their air. It's just you hear this like that as hard as possible against the ground. It's like this thud. Zhou Yi flattened out. You would see Ivan moving over just because of the head and the direction. He's upside down, but he's running towards your direction. Is there anything else you want to do, Zhou Yi?
Can I use my bonus action while I'm lying there almost broken?
If you're at 7 hit points, if you want to use your bonus action to get up from being prone or attack on the ground, it's up to you.
I'm going to use my second wind and try and gain some H points.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. All right, go ahead and do that. Let's go to Mujun. Mujun and Yuki and Toshiro still in this area. You have the soldiers that are down. You have the fog that's around Toshiro. What would you like to do, Mujun, whenever you're ready?
Cool.
Did anyone move close to Mujin?
There would be another one of those warriors moving close. He's about,
Then-
I would say about another 5 feet. He gets in right
Okay.
in distance of that spiritual weapon. What would you like to do?
And then the Naginata will react to that
Okay.
and try to do a downward slash
Okay.
to split this person in half.
Okay.
Okay, and then that is going to be 16 to hit.
16? 16 hits.
Okay. And then that's for oh wait, that one is sorry, my mistake. I think that one is a D8. It's a D8. That was the
D8.
wrong
Yep.
one.
Yep.
So that's
Gotcha.
that's 9 points of damage.
9 points. Oh shit. All right. 9 points of damage as this weapon goes and cuts the side of the stomach. The blade itself, you said, that goes and backs up. You see as they back up and bring the weapon up to do another attack. What else would you like to do?
I think that's it that's just if it moved within range of where I positioned it with Mujin, but it only has the one attack for it.
Let's go with
so
your
basically,
attacks.
yeah. So then it would just move to try to again deflect any oncoming enemy attacks.
Got it. Any actions for you?
Oh,
Mujin.
gotcha. Yeah. So first off, I'm going to make another hit towards the closest one to me. You know, and there's still 3 surrounding, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Gotcha. Cool. So for the first one, that is. But before I do this, I'm going to say, Mujin notices there's a lot of swords here. So if he can, he would like to use his sword and pull that out. Strike with that.
Have that sword out. Yeah.
Bring a sword to a sword fight. Great.
A bunch of ethereal arms that go through.
They're still there. But in his real ones, he has his sword.
Yep.
That'll be a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Great. So with a slash of that sword straight down, that is 4 points of damage to the first one that's in front of him.
So the question I have to give is the one in front of you is the one that the Nagata just really hit, the spiritual weapon hit right now. Would you like to continue attacking that one or go for the one that's next to it? It's up to you.
Yeah, the one that the Naginata just hit.
That works for me. Give me your attack and damage. Let me know what you got. 19 hits, by the way. Yep.
Yeah,
What's
that was 4 damage.
Points? Okay. How would you like to kill this thing?
Yeah, cool. It's simple. It's literally one strike down, straight through the body, almost like diagonal cross. It's like butter is what it looks like.
Open them right up, and that same part where the kimono is, or the weapon or the clothing that they would wear, you would see it slip right open. The parts of the shoulder slide forward, and you would see the weapon kind of go, kind of faint as the creature or the warrior looks at you. There's a look in their face as if he's recognizing that it's a monk doing this. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yes. Flurry of blows to the 2 on the side.
Go for it. Give me the 2 on the side.
Arms.
Yep.
Okay. That is a 24 and
24.
a 16.
16. Okay. The 24 and the 24 hits and the 16 hits. So give me both the damage on both.
Cool. So one of them to the left is getting 5 points of damage. The other is getting 7 points.
As was force damage?
All force, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that part here where you go to separate with those 2, you roll this real quick. And okay, works for me. So you go to move them to the side. The 2 actually get pushed away to the side. They're both their weapons go and move downwards. They position themselves to do another ready to attack. Just to give you a summary of it, you have now 5 to the ground, 2 up top, 2 still standing. The 2 that's standing right now, they seem to look at the other ones that you've kind of put to the ground. They bring their weapons up in a high stance, and you've seen Toshiro do the same stance. Anything you want to do?
Wait. Okay, yeah, maybe. I'm gonna try to move out of range. I'm gonna try to retreat in a way, move as much as I can out of their range. And I know we'll get opportunity, but
going for the opportunity attack? Or they're gonna go for their opportunity attack if that's
all right, yes. But I'm trying to get away from them. I see that same stance. I clock it with Toshiro, and I'm trying to move away. I'm moving out.
And it's the same as you move backwards. You would recognize that high stance and why that thing has an advantage is they make one step forward, and it's almost like that blade just gets extended real far.
Wouldn't then that trigger my
yes, congratulations on that. So let's get the spiritual weapon after that. God, I knew you were doing that on purpose. Go for your spiritual weapon and let me know what you got.
Okay, let's see here. That's a 16.
16 hits. Give me your damage.
And that's oh my gosh, that's 12 points of damage.
So the one that Mujin steps back for, you would see it make it step back, and it would almost like look at this as it look to its face like it's about to get the advantage of you. It takes the first step just to see this spiritual weapon turn, spin, and how do you want to kill this thing?
It's
Oh.
basically going to split it right through the center.
And you would see the weapon peel like a banana, and it just would that both sides of his body go one side to the other side. The way it cuts, it's so fine that you could actually see half of the tongue quivering and parts of the other side of the mouth as both of it split. You would actually see what looks like part of the brain, and at that point, that's when the part goes, and you see all the liquid fall out of it as it sustained itself for all but 3 seconds. Mujin, that one body falls, the one person looks, and there's an apprehension to take the step forward. But in that apprehension, is there anything else you'd like to do?
No.
No, as it takes the step forward to make the attack.
Okay.
Do the roll, Yuki.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just like, can I do it? Can I do it?
Do it.
Okay. Oh no, this actually didn't make it. This is a 12.
Oh, nice. And that's the thing, you see it slip by, and he goes to try to make the attack against you, Mujin.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this.
Dang it.
I got 11. Does an 11 hit? Please tell me it hits. And after all of this, please let me hit.
It doesn't hit.
Oh.
Weapon goes to them to the arm. How do you want to block this thing?
I'm just still moving. It's very
Yeah.
smooth, just cold and calculated moving back. So he
and
just steps out of the way. He's already on the
that's
way.
that. You just step back, and it's have seen one that has seen Toshiro use this fighting style, but also know that this is known to cover distance. It's almost like you take a step back, knowing it's well enough to see that it hits the ground. That spiritual weapon stops. You can see as it stops in position, it flings the amount of the blood that's still left on the blade. Let's go to Yuki. Yuki, your spiritual weapon has made short work of them. You've got one still in front of you. It's tried to make the attack, but Mujin stepping safely away. What would you like to do?
Okay, so in that moment, Yuki again would take a moment. She would close her eyes, open them back up. She does a sweep motion with her arms, and she comes down with her fist into her palm.
Okay.
And in that moment, it's almost like a noise that sounds like a gong, like it kind of shakes the room a bit. And in that moment, there's this dark smoke that seems to envelop that person who basically Mujin was deflecting their attack. And she's doing Toll the Dead.
Oh, nice. Okay, what do you want me to do?
So that's a wisdom 14 save.
All right, let's see this. Oh gosh. I got a 12.
Yippee! Okay, and that is not what Yuki says, by the way.
Oh no.
That's
I
just
figured it wasn't.
player excitement. But that would have been pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's 7 points of damage for that.
7 points of damage.
Oh no, actually no, yeah, 7 points. Yeah, that's
7
'cause
points
I
of
rolled a
damage. Would you
D12.
like to describe us what happens when this spell is used and it's enough to kill him?
So basically the smoke the smoke that envelops, it almost looks like spectral hands in a way, and it basically grips around the person's neck, the soldier's neck, and it twists, like, so it's kind of like where it's like twirls around it and twists with that motion to basically disconnect the head from the body.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And at the other part, as it begins to spin, you would just hear this, and it's just this silence right after.
And the body just drops.
Right to the ground.
In that motion, bonus action, moving since the spectral weapon actually closer to where she believes that Toshiro and the Oni would be, in order to try to protect, or to kind of have Toshi's back. So she's basically moving that weapon. So it kind of goes like zooming towards the
rushing
smoke.
right through the fog, and that's where you would see Toshiro. This creature, this Oni, has you with one arm. It's looking at you dead set right in your eyes. You would see what looked like yourself, like Qorvi, the fields, the falls of Celestia burning. The house Lamb, the house Miyazaki, all of it gone. You would see it as you have the one free hand after taking that amount of damage. What would you like to do?
So that's what I'm seeing. Just looking into its eyes, that vision.
That's correct.
Is that what I'm
Yeah.
getting? Okay.
That's correct.
So I'm gonna be grimacing and kneeling down, and let's see here, and I'm gonna feel some kind of like disturbance and sense, and I'm gonna use also second wind like Joey. Because yeah, I kind of need it. What is that? A D10.
Yep.
Let's see here. Oh, that's good. I got a 10 plus 4,
Okay.
so a 14.
All right.
So still alive. So that
Okay.
was my bonus action.
Okay.
For my regular action, so that was my bag of tricks, was try to use the celestial energy, and that didn't quite work now, did it? So I am going to kind of look over to where I think Yuki is, and as awkwardly as I can, I'm going to try and strike one-handed with the Odachi.
All right. Give me an attack roll and let me know what you got.
Kill him.
So can you technically use that weapon? Because it's not versatile. I
How
can't
much?
swing it, can I?
I'm gonna give it to you. What'd you get?
No, I didn't roll yet.
Give me that roll and let me know what you got.
Just trying to be honest.
Oh no,
yeah,
I
that's-
got you.
Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let the dice gods.
Didn't
deal
even
with
have to
that.
roll at disadvantage because yeah, that
I
was
like,
that was crap.
the dice gods will deal with this. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a
love you
miss.
for it. All right, so the minute that you would look at where Yuki's position is, your blade, as you it is, the Odachi is really big. It's one of the ceremonial blades that you use, and it's almost that you can feel your other wrist being broken as you go to make this attack. The fact of the matter is you're by yourself on this. And not only that, you would see in this loneliness, the way you're striking, it's not even if you've been taught a thing. It's mostly out of reflex. It's like seeing an animal trying to defend themselves, because the minute you put your arm up, you would see this thing grab your hand and throw your blade to the side. You would see this thing the first time the house blade of Miyazaki hits the ground. You would see it begin to crush both your wrists into your hands.
Is
There's
the
a part of
spiritual
this-
weapon anywhere close?
You would see that that spiritual weapon. You would assume a lot of this is happening all at the same time, but you can hear Toshiro beginning to scream. And at that point where both your wrists begin to break, Toshiro, I need you to do me a Constitution saving throw when you give me a chance.
Jeez.
What'd you get?
This is gonna be close. How about a 12?
Okay. We're going to go to Joyi and Ivan real quick. Because at the minute you would see this, I'm going to tell you what the spiritual weapon does, because by the time it comes into this is what's going to happen. As Toshiro, both of your wrists at this point, you would feel as this thing just vice down and break. And at the same time, it would put your face real close to his. You would see this thing put its head back, and at the same time headbutt Toshiro to the point where you can see his body just go completely limp. And not only that, it doesn't stop. It picks his arms up, holds them up like a marionette puppet, and does the same thing. And it doesn't stop, because Yuki, it gets to the point where you can hear what sounds like if someone took clothes in a wet bag and just started hitting the ground with it. You can hear what sounds like porcelain hitting cement, because behind that fog, it's Toshiro holding his head up, just getting his head over and over again. Let's go to Joyi, and let's go to Ivan. Ivan, you turn, you can see Joyi being held. You can see as she is slammed to the ground. You can see as it does that, it holds and it begins to slip this large, rather crude metallic blade out. This blade looks like it had been fashioned from something like a prison shiv. What would you like to do?
Okay, well, so Ivan just sees this light. Does he see what's going on with Yuki and Toshiro and all
No,
that? Okay,
no.
just this.
But I will say the
Well-
one thing, since you did make the way out, is the minute you get out there, you can turn and see Zhou getting thrown to the ground. But at the same time, all but like maybe, it sounds like maybe 10 to 15 feet away, you can hear that same. And it's just over and over again. It's a particular security, or what's that? It's a particular sound, because if you've ever been in a fighting arena, it's that sound when somebody can't defend themselves. And it's that sound when somebody is just rhythmically taking out all of the hate at it. And it's just this. And you can hear this over the battle.
As Ivan continues to run, every footstep he hears that same punches landing, the wet slop of blood against bone. As he's not hearing what's going on with Toshiro, he remembers the pits. And he hears it and his smile grows. Looks like somebody's got to tap out soon. As he's just running and he swings as he's done so many times before, his arms forward
Yep.
and up as he's going to cast Guiding Bolt again. He's casting it into the air over top of this bear, and he's running forward to try and jump onto the back of it.
Okay. Give me an attack roll and let me know what you got.
Okay, attack roll. Cocked on a nat 20.
Give me what you got, man.
Nat 20.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so this guiding bolt, as you go to move and you go to throw it, you're going to hit the bear. Go ahead and give me your damage.
That's 4d6 doubled. Cocked again. I just need a new. I should just use raised dice tray for this. The tower that you gave me.
I'm just telling you, dude. I'm just saying. I did give this to you. I'm just gonna throw that out.
Okay, that is going to be 7, 8, 9, 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. How would this like? Go ahead. You want to describe what this looks like?
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, go
Heck
for
yeah.
it. Yeah, go
Is
for
this
it.
like kill?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. So as Joey slammed to the ground, he's like, looks like somebody's better top out. Oi, Joey, you're not alone. Remember to smile. Buck up. As he's going to swing his arm upward, and from the axe flies this shadowy like spear as it just flies upward, and then he pulls his hand down as it straight into the back spinal column of this creature, going from the very top all the way to the bottom into the ground as he jumps onto the back of it, thinking there'll be more.
And you go to grab onto the top. It's enough to keep its body. The first cut goes in. The creature itself, or the bear itself, has its blade openly in its arms. Zhou, what would you like to do as you can see this thing about to take its blade and come down upon you?
So I don't see Ivan, I just see the bear on me.
Yes.
Okay. So as the bear is coming at me, because I don't see anything else, I am going to drop the fan, grab both the scimitars, and just stab straight through.
All right. Give me 2 attacks on the stab and let me know what you got.
To his knees. To his knees, though. I'm going to hit
So
his
think
knees.
about this. He's got you held like that into his arm, right? He's got you hold down. He's got his blade on, and he's about to hit you with that blade. At the same point, you would see him just go like that, but at the same also, you would see Ivan jump onto the back. It still has the blade up in its hand, look like it's still within its power to use it. So you take 2 of your blades. Are you stabbing forward, or are you going to try to stab around? How are you doing this?
I am going for his knees.
Okay, give me your attack and let me know what you got.
Okay, ready? Oh god, oh god,
Stab
oh god, oh god, oh god.
Impale me.
Let me feel something. Oh shit, that is a critical 20 and a 16.
All right, I will give you the 16.
21.
Oh, 21.
25.
All right, so I'll give you on the 21. The blade itself, it goes right through his knee, and it's enough to put him down to kneel downwards. So go ahead and give me your damage on the knee and let me know what you got.
Yeah, so I got a crit, so that means I double.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What does that mean?
So you're going to roll your dice. You're going to double the
Yeah.
dice and then add your adjustments after, so you don't end up doubling your adjustments. So roll the
Okay.
dice. Roll your damage dice.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. What you
That
got?
is that is, I can't math today, Jesus Christ.
It's 98. No.
105. No, it's 8 plus 4, so that's
8 plus
12.
4. So
12.
8, 12. Okay, so 8, 12, 24. All right, 24 points of damage. Before we go on our break, here's what we're going to do. You, Ivan and Joyi, would you both like to describe how you both kill this thing? So
Yes.
if you do this right, all right, Joyi, you start first. How do you want to kill it?
So I am pinned on the ground like this, right? On my
Yep.
chest, though, alone, only on my chest. So
Yes,
it's with my
that's fine.
dress.
Yep.
So technically, I have 2 scimitars in this hand and a
Right.
fan in this one.
That's
I
correct.
yeet the fan, right? Grab hold
Yep.
of the other scimitar
Yep.
and turn and just stab straight into the shins.
Gotcha. You would slam it as much as you can, at least
Yeah.
the position you can, into the shins. At that point, Ivan, the blade goes and cuts up to the spine, and you're actually very surprised how well that guiding bolt cut through the metal, because it splits it open kind of like a can, and you can actually see the back parts of the ribs. If you've ever seen somebody, or at least in a situation, if you've ever looked at what the Vikings used to do with the eagle right on the back, as far as that part where it splits open that skin, it looks exactly like that. You jump on the back, and it's enough to slip your part of your boot and your arm between the rib cage. What would you like to do? How would you like to kill this thing?
So my arm is like inside of it.
Yeah.
He would like to go through and close his right eye and hold around the heart and just tear it out of its body.
And that's the part where your eye goes and it shows exactly as it looks right out of its body. It only highlights where to place your hand, where to place your fist, and the part where you grip around it, you can actually feel this. You rip it right out.
He's going to hold it up with the blood and just open valves dropping the anchor on top of him.
You would hold it and it would just go right, and you would see it kind of bleed right between the eyes. And right when it falls onto it, you would actually see it start to glow. You would see the entire village. You holding it there, you can feel the pulse coming off of this. It's enough to feel it between your thumbs. It's enough to feel your fingers. And even when you look at this thing, when you'd see it in your eyes, it still moves. Before we go on break, anything else you'd like to do?
I turned to Ivan and I said, I kind of did like him. He was my teacher. But could you help me again like last time and heal me a little bit, please? I'm in a lot of pain right now. Then like she'll struggle to breathe again in her chest where she was injured the first time.
As the body falls and he's kind of on the back of it and he's just looking down as she calls his name, he's just looking at the heart and he like looks back at her and, oh yeah, of course. Well, you should probably not spend so much time on your back. That's more my job. As he's going to hold down his hand to reach out to her.
I put my hand out to get pulled up again.
As you get pulled up, if you don't mind me, Ray, I would like Joey to make a perception check.
Go for it.
A what check?
A perception check.
Oh, yay. One second. Let me find my stats.
Sorry to take that from you, Ray.
No, that's I love it. I love this.
That is a 12.
12.
He reaches down, grabs you, pulls you up, and of course, yeah, sure. He's like, oh, sorry. He like puts the heart in a pouch to his side. Like,
okay.
Grabs you by the head. Look up or shut up. Come on, we've got others to save. As he's going to cast Cure Wounds on you.
Thank you. And as you're doing that, she'll be like, are you really pocketing his heart? Do I want to know what you're going to do with that?
Might get hungry later.
And just a reminder, you still have parts of House Miyazaki that's still doing its thing right now. Is there anything else left from you two? All right. So before we go on our break, Yuki, spiritual weapon goes and moves towards where it thinks Yuki is, or where Toshiro is. You would see Toshiro. You wouldn't see Toshiro, but you'd see the spiritual weapon cut through the fog. What I'm going to show you is you would hear this, and it sounds like it rings. The fog begins to clear, and your spiritual weapon is stuck into the ground. You can see this person holding Toshiro, and it just lets him go onto the ground, and you can see the back of Toshiro right now. Toshiro falls to the ground, and he stands up, and he looks directly at this beast. He's got his back to you, and you see the beast look at him and begin to smile. Yuki, Mujun, what would you like to do?
In that moment, Yuki is basically holding back tears because she can hear the level of beating that is happening, and has become almost like a son to her. So it's almost like tears, but it's almost like a fury or a rage. But in that moment, she calms herself, and she, in that moment of collection, she just whispers, "Yoshi," and she's basically doing a healing word to Toshi.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna also give.
The spiritual weapon will itself then kind of like where it just kind of shimmers out, and it's no longer there. And when she casts that.
Okay, give me your damage, give me your hit points, let me know what you got.
Okay.
Mujun, what are you doing?
I'm also there, just keeping an eye on like the perimeter to make sure that we don't have any more visitors or anything, while Yuki is trying to, do this healing.
Okay, Yuki.
And then, that's 10 points of healing.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's a way, like in that moment, she definitely wants to do something, but she's not. But I don't know if she's able to, like, because I know that I think Mujin, technically his order goes first.
So here's what we're gonna do. You would walk. You would try to use the spell. You would feel as if you've got the back of Toshi to you. It goes towards him. Mujin, you would see Yuki trying her best to at least get this magic to Toshiro or at the back of him. Yuki, what do you want to do? You said you wanted to try something.
Yes. Well, the question is, did the healing actually get to Toshi, or was it blocked?
You would see it heal, but the part that is to it is there's no reaction or movement to Toshiro. He doesn't move to look at you. He doesn't move to. He just stands there with his back to you. What would you like to do?
In that moment, she's basically going to let out she's going to basically unleash 2 firebolts. She has a feeling that they may not actually hit, but it's just basically to try to force this thing's attention to focus on her now. So she's going to do in a similar fashion, but this time with more force from her hands, to try to hopefully push this thing further away from.
Give me your attack and let me know what you got.
And one of them is going to be a 23. The other one does not hit.
So the one that would not hit, you would see Toshiro put his hand out, and it's just like that. He puts his hand out, and you would see the blade that was thrown to the ground flow to his hand. It would just, And he would move it in such a way where you would see him move like right behind him to block the firebolt. Toshiro turns around and looks at you face to face. And what you see is that staring right at you. You see what looks like the mask made of wood and porcelain as it blocks the weapon. The firebolt, the second one that goes, you would see him just hold the blade and in such a way he puts it upwards and the firebolt begins to circle around him and dissipate. And you see the Oni look and take one step back. Yuki, Mujun, our beloved large Azamar stands right in front of you with his blade. When we get back from the break, we will continue this fight. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Evermore Tales, Dragon, and Samurai. We have a lot going on, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Yuki, from before we left the break, the fog had cleared, and what you had seen after using that spell, casting firebolt in retaliation, Toshiro had knocked one of the firebolts to the side, and what you saw was what turned around. This Oni looks at you, and it reminds you one more time, I told you I would get him. You see him turn his back to you. The Oni walk out of House Miyazaki. What's left in front of you and Mujun is staring at you right there. The other part I'll give is to Ivan and Joyi as the Oni moves towards your part of the city. Let's go with Yuki and Mujun. What would you two like to do?
I want
to
to
go first.
Yeah. I want to definitely try to see if I can figure out what's going on like an astral spiritual sense, if I can get some sort of read on that.
Okay, what I'm going to do and have you do is the minute you would put your arms together, the first set of arms would come up, boom, and you would hear the third bass note. Same thing, the top set and the bottom. I'm going to give you the result of that. Toshiro, what would you like to do when you get a chance? We'll do that before this. Toshiro, what would you like to do?
Okay, so this is new to me. So as I turn around, what am I feeling here?
I would say the minute you turn around and look directly at both of them, all you would see is Yuki and Mujun. Mujun with his same arms showing you the kind of trying to get a read as far as what is connected to you. The house Miyazaki is burning. You get a feeling that whatever happens, the two in front of you, through their demise, that Miyazaki's house will be made safe. You get a feeling right now that that dragon that showed you its spirit, that thing that's attached to the Oni making its way to the center of the city, it is pouring into you all of the hate, all of the deceptions, every promise it can make to you. You get a feeling right now that the only thing standing between you and the safety of House Miyazaki is an old friend, Yuki, and a monk stand before you.
I lost some of that. You broke up a little bit.
And the monk that stands before you.
Okay,
The only two people.
So as the Oni leaves, is there any part of me, or is it corrupted?
I would say
Or
corrupted.
not is it? Am I corrupted fully or
100%.
okay?
As long as you and this demon remain in the same space, 100%.
So I turn and I look at Mujin and I look at Yuki. Which one would I consider the most that's formidable?
I would say is this, Mujin. You had said you were trying to look at what is truly there, what is truly being in this battle. Just like you had, the minute your arms collide together, you open your eyes, it is like you are staring at a galaxy. All around you, the world of Qorvi is not what it seems. It's not there. You would see the image of Toshiro holding his blade. You would see Yuki. The minute you blink, the dragon that backs up Yuki would be ethereally floating above her, as if it is trying to lock eyes with a thing that is attached to Toshiro. You would see the same, almost, it's like this demon, looks of a dragon lich, looks of its decrepitated. You would even see parts of its bone and the mouth of it kind of move to the side. And it is locking eyes with whatever is right above Yuki. And you would see them both just stare at each other. Two ancient entities and the bodies that they possess right below them. Mujin, as you're doing this, you would actually see all the planets aligned to you. As it shows you the battle in front of you is more than just two friends, more than just master and student. What would you like to do?
I feel I want to knock this out of him, but I don't know if it's like my place, you know? So he's wrestling with that. And he just looks over, Mujun looks over at Yuki. I know that there are bigger things at play here. We have to free him from this corruption. If you say that we should engage with him, I will fight my hardest with even the things that are beyond me. Do I dare hold my fist in this moment?
He's not our enemy. Our enemy walked out of that door just now.
With eyes locked to Toshiro, I just stand my ground. I lower my arms. I don't dissipate the astral arms, but they also lower down as I just stoically look. I will not engage for now. But if harm comes to you, I don't think that I can.
It is all right. I can handle myself. What is most important for you is to join the others. This battle cannot be won by one soldier alone.
Where are they? And I can even ask that to Ray. Are they in sort of close distance from where we are now?
You would assume the Oni had walked out of House Miyazaki through the front entrance of the gateway. If you'd like to move around, Toshiro, that's up to you. I will give Toshiro an action to react.
Yuki, in that moment, because she's trying to figure out a way to she knows that basically if she goes to try to attack the Oni, because the Oni is the true enemy here, and she's trying to basically make sure that Toshiro isn't hurt, but she knows that there's a chance that she might have to hurt him. But she's basically trying to analyze the situation. But in doing so, in that moment, she takes a second, and it's really brief, and it's so quick. It's like a blink of an eye, where basically there is a golden light that shines from her eyes, and in that moment, there is this sort of shimmering light that surrounds and envelops her body, and it takes the form of a samurai armor, almost just emulating the female Unamusha, the female warriors at that time. And it is golden in color, but it shimmers bright, so it doesn't look like normal armor. You can tell that it's a special mage armor that she's basically casting around herself, because she knows that they're about to go to war. She's getting ready.
And the minute the spell locks in Mujin, it's like I said, you can see the true aspects of this, as if you see the scales of the great golden dragon being placed as armor upon Yuki. Question for Toshiro, question for Yuki. I need initiative rolls from the both of you when you give me the chance.
15.
12.
All right, Yuki, you go first. What would you like to do?
Okay, so in that moment, she's going to go, what she's trying to do is to knock Toshiro back so she can actually disengage. So she's trying to basically unsheath her. She's going to unsheath her blade and take a swipe at him, but to use his own force against him to push him backwards.
Give me an attack roll and let me know what you got.
And she's doing two-handed for this.
Excellent.
And that is going to be a 22 to hit.
Excellent. Toshiro. There we go. And you would hit. Give me your damage, and it's enough to push you back.
That was cocked, as someone said. Okay, so that's yes, that's going to be 10 points.
10 points of damage. Toshiro, you would take the 10 points as you were pushed back, but you would actually see Yuki slide back. There's about 10 feet of distance in between the both of you.
And even though I know that's going to be an opportunity, she's going to disengage.
Okay. All right. So Toshiro, your actions to attack or to get your opportunity to attack. Go ahead. And it'll be your turn.
But she's trying to basically, what Yuki is trying to do is disengage enough to get line of sight with the Oni. She just needs line of sight. That's all she needs. That's all she needs.
So he's going to get his attack, and then it'll be his turn, and then we'll go to Mujun.
Okay. So I'm guessing at this point, I'm kind of like what do you call those things? Automaton. I just react based on feeling from the Oni.
I would say at this point, the only intent that you have is that you feel that if the lives of the Mujun, if Mujun and Yuki live, House Miyazaki will end here.
Okay. So I take on the damage from Yuki. I don't flinch, and I come back, and as she moves, I strike down.
Give me an attack roll and let me know what you got.
17.
That just hits. That just passes her.
Oh, let's do it.
That's fine.
That's not good. I don't like this game.
By one. By one.
One,
Of course.
yeah.
Mom, come get me. I wanna
Plus
go
5, 14.
14 points of damage as Yuki. You would see Toshiro. Toshiro, you want to describe how this hit looks like?
So it's that the same style I always use on the first strike, up high on the right, shuffle the feet to kind of distract a little bit, just like she taught me, and then strike cross.
Classic line work. And you would actually see as he does this, the same emotionless stare as he does it, he moves. Mujun, at this point, Yuki, the disengage works. You have line of sight to the Oni, but before we go to you, Mujun, what do you want to do? Mujun, you had chosen not to do any actions, but you can actually see all of this play out. Is there anything you'd like to do?
He's gonna listen. He's gonna try to leave. He's gonna make his way towards the door to see if he can meet up with Joe Yi and Ivan.
Okay.
Wherever that is.
Toshiro, you would see Mujun run past you. It would be right to the side. It's up to you to choose what you'd like to do.
So I already used my reaction. So I'm just going to glance over at him. And I can't really do anything else.
So here's what I would show you, Mujun, as the attack goes by Toshiro. You can see Yuki move back and get the line of sight, but at the same time, it looks like if you looked upwards, this dragon lich and this golden dragon are literally crashing into each other. You would see this dragon lich like bite or try to bite the golden dragon's head, move back, and the dragon just kind of open its mouth and try to get a counter bite. You move out and you can actually see downwards if you're looking down into the city. Ivan on the back of what looks like this massive plate mailed monster trying to attack. Joey kind of onto the ground, like going at it with the knee and trying to stab with her weapons. But they are fighting this thing also. Right behind, as you can see, what looks like the Oni that just left walked down the familiar pathway towards them. They have no idea this thing is coming towards them.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, we're gonna double time it then. Seeing this, I'm on my way. I want to try to beat the Oni to them if possible. or do my
Okay,
best.
you would run as fast as you can. Is there anything you want to do to grab its attention? Because right now, I would say it's closer to them than it is to you. What would you like to do?
Mhm. Let's see. Uh, basically, and am I seeing this sort of in my sort of cosmic things?
I would say, yeah, you can still see it there. Yes, that's correct.
Cool. If Yuki has that figure, if Toshiro has that figure, I want my own figure. I'm reaching out beyond myself, and I'm with some sort of figure, almost not exactly orcish, but almost giant like. I would like to sort of summon those arms above me and connect with whatever that is and just slam them together, creating this sound that will hopefully echo out and talk to that Oni.
So the minute that does this, the question is I give you two options. The first option is you can have the planets go around you. The second option is there is a wolf that is made of nothing but pure stars that you can bring to your attention. Choice.
This is a wolf that's already there. This isn't something that I conjured up.
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to go with the planets.
And what you would see as this goes, as you do this, is you can actually notice the planets begin to spin around you. All 8 of them begin to swirl around and they start to align right in front. You would see the Oni turn around at the same point. Ivan and Joyi, this creature's body slumps forward. And at the same, you can hear that same booming noise. And right at the stairway moving downwards, the back of this Oni, but at the point where Mujin has his hands, one like this, and the other one slammed down. He's got all 8 planets floating right to the side of him, and he's staring right at this thing. You guys are at the bottom part, 50 feet from it. He's in the middle and 50 feet from them. Let's go with you two there, and then we'll go to the Oni, and then we'll go to the people up top. Joyi, Ivan, bottom of the stairwell, looking right up, or the hill, looking right up to that Oni. What would you like to do?
As we were running towards the area, would I have been able to use my radiant soul, like use my true Azumar form
I'll
on the
let you
way?
do it if you'd like to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna activate my radiant soul.
Okay. One thing is you would run towards it and the same little bit of damage, but your wings come out. You would see your feet get lighter and weight, jump, move, and just take flight as you go over, flying towards this thing in your radiant soul. What would you like to do?
I would like to walk the distance, I guess. My walking speed is 30. Okay. Would I have to dash to get me there?
You're about 50 feet, so about 50 feet to get there, you'll have to dash, and then it'll be you'll have to dash to get there.
No, I'm gonna stand there and wait. I say I'm gonna stand there and I say to Ivan, because we're with our backs to the village, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand and protect that village from this Oni. So I'm holding ground and I say I'm gonna stay here, Ivan. I'm gonna hold this barrier from the Oni in the village.
Ivan, as you stare at this, you have the person staring and protecting the village. You have your friend at the top of the hill with House Miyazaki to his back. He has what looks like essentially a cosmic amount of planets kind of circling around him. You have this Oni that's bisecting the both of them. What would you like to do?
Okay. Just to clarify.
Yep.
Is Joey in the air? Kind of
Joey,
making this barrier behind?
She is, and as her radiant soul, she's decided to kind of float there and just sit there and protect the city or protect the village. She has made it a choice, and that is what you'd like to do.
And then do I see, or does Ivan see the dragon surrounding the Oni, or no?
No.
Ivan's going to just look up the stairs. How far would you say the Oni's from him?
50 feet.
Could we go 30?
I can go 50.
No higher? No lower? Okay. he'll just shake his head and just start jogging with his axe on his shoulder, shield still at his side. Not all of us can fly. Doing my best. As he's just kind of jogging up these stairs, under his breath, he will say something just guttural and frustrated, but looking up at the Zoni. I don't got much left. Come on! As he's just gonna beat the shield and dash full up to the creature.
And
I think it's time we talked.
you would see this creature as you're moving up and running up towards the hill toward Mujun. You would see Zhou floating in her radiant soul, protecting at least what looks like parts of the lower half of the village. This creature is going to make 2 attacks to Ivan as he moves his way towards the and I'm only going to say this because he's got the higher ground. Okay.
Nice.
Here we go.
my
2
God.
attacks. Yeah, that's a 1. Okay, never mind. So just as far as this goes, Ivan, he would make the swing at you, and it's that where you're able to duck to the side, but it is uphill, so you won't be able to roll, but you duck. Let's go with let's see, at that critical miss, I'm gonna give you a chance to retaliate if you'd like. On mute, by the way. Oh, now we turned off his camera.
Sorry. I tried to unmute my video by doing like the right click thing, and then that didn't happen. So I'm sorry about that. I was really excited, but yeah. And he's going to glance off his shield, and he's going to look up. Does he see any weak points on the Sony? Any prior damage to him? Anything that he could use to his advantage?
So are you taking off? You said you were looking at him. Just for my own points of clarity, you have your
yes. It is.
patch
It is fully taken off.
So what I would show, what are you asking of this? Now, a question I have to you is you would hear the same voice that was always told you. It was always here to do some damage with you. But the part that it starts to look at, you are looking at a demon. What are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for the touch of the heavens touch on this creature.
The weakness to this creature. It's not a question of weapons damage. You have to defeat this on a completely different level. It's learning each of your weaknesses, and it will use what inevitably you love against you. What would you like to do?
Ivan is going to, like, mid-swing, looking up at this creature, his eye, like, burning and still blood covering his face, feeling, I think, still the throb of the heart in his pouch next to him. Looking at this creature. All right. Time to shed some light on this situation. As he's going to let his skin just crawl as he's going to use it.
Oh, nice. And the left part of your cheek begins to rip forward as what looks like parts of the skin begin to open up. The tattoos that you would have on your body begin to move as it looks like ink beginning to dance around. You would see an image of a jackal looking right at you. In a matter of a fraction of a second, it's just like you staring at this thing, hand against its cheek, it's staring at you with hand against your cheek. And it looks at you, and as if you guys are spinning faster and faster and faster. It's all in a matter of seconds. You would hear this thing. What do you decide? As it bends forward, the one question you get to ask it looks to you. All you hear. What do you desire?
Freedom, as I always have. For me and all those in this world.
Give me the house, and I'll give you this land.
You should know already I'm not looking for this land. He's gonna
It's-
pull.
You would see it staring directly at you. It looks to ask for a question. Show me where the fisherman sleeps. That's all you hear.
Ivan just looks perplexed, confused. His grin's still there, but see here, I thought we were on the same wavelength. Just trying to have a good time. Blow off steam. Let the world share our excitement. But now I feel like you've got some ulterior motives. So what's going on? What's changed?
You feel the beads of sweat begin to fall from your head as this is you running, and this is all happening as you're turning to the side. It's almost as this moment of time is about to go right past you. Is there anything you would ask their deity?
How do I take your place?
Strike harder. And you would see him touch your face, and your axe begins to glow. And you would see as you go, where are you hitting this thing?
I'm trying to go. So glance off.
Yep.
He's going to bring arm straight and almost like a haymaker. Just go into the bottom right rib cage.
Give me an attack roll. Let me know what you got.
Using the goddamn dice tower. That's an
You got
18 on the die.
That'll be a hit. Give me a.
Buy yours today.
Buy yours today. Adventuring equipment. I'm also using the Lily Sparks dice. That is going to be a 3 plus his dexterity modifier, which is 3, so 6.
6 points of damage. Actually, you go up to the rib cage, Mujin. The point of where you force impact, you would see like this spark kind of go right towards his ribs as this thing hits him, and you notice it is that familiar hatchet or that axe that Ivan uses. Let's go with you, Mujin. What would you like to do?
I want to go up for some attacks. I'm going to close in and go after this thing. I also want to damage it. Also, sort of following up in that same place if I can.
Okay. Oh, same position. Okay, give me your attack rolls and let me know what you got.
All right, cool. And these are desperate times. I'm going to keep flurry of blows going.
Mm-hmm. And again, remember, you're about 50 feet from this thing, so if you want to make your way towards it, you can.
50. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. 1 second. Let me calculate again. I can hit it.
Okay.
But I can't flurry of blows. But
Okay.
I'm gonna move forward. And I'm gonna attack it with the astral arms. Nat 20.
Nice. Okay. All right. Keep going.
That will be 8 damage to it.
8 damage.
Force.
And the force push or the force punch that you do to it, the difference on this is as you hit it, you can actually see it ripple as what looks like parts of its skin begin to move. You have any more attacks?
No more attacks, but I'll spend a key point for a patient defense to take dodge as bonus action.
All right. Okay. So we're going to keep dodging, keeping that as a bonus action. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Let's go to the. So just to give you an idea of what happened on those stairs, Joyi, you were floating in front to protect this area. Ivan kind of making the attempt to run forward. There was a part of this where he turns and you can actually see he talks to himself, but it's just that it's a matter of a fraction of a second because it stops and you can see as he does it, slams the axe into him and that golden spark goes off of it. At the same time as you're looking up, you can recognize that Mujin is being surrounded with what look like orbs of energy, and these orbs of energy in the colors of the different planets of Evermore. At the same point, I'm going to put this demon as it's being handled or getting hurt, getting thrown, getting tossed. It moves its way up the stairs as if it's still relentless. At the house Miyazaki, let's go to Yuki and Toshiro. Yuki, we're locked hand-to-hand combat with Toshiro.
I think I actually moved away.
Oh,
with
yes,
that
you did.
movement.
Yeah, you did. Sorry,
So
sorry.
I was basically rushing
Yep.
just as quickly as possible to get in line and keep an eye on where the demon was. And
Yes.
in that moment, in the loudest voice you have ever heard Yuki speak in, she says, "He will never belong to you, demon. His light will not be distinguished and this land will not be overtaken. I will not allow it." And then in that moment, what you see is during that, at the brightest light as she unsheathes her katana, just the brightest light just emanates from it. Even her armor itself is glowing almost where you can't even look in her direction without having to close your eyes, or at least a mere human couldn't. And she takes her blade and swings it over her head and slashes down and slashes again, but they're not even slashes. It's almost as if there's two golden dragons that are weaving together and spiraling into one giant dragon to hit its center mass, and almost as if it's trying to take it whole. And that's she's doing guiding bolt.
Oh,
And we're going to go ahead and use my last sorcery points to twin that.
oh,
Again.
awesome. Give me an attack roll.
I may not be able to actually. I think
Okay.
I think it has to be two different enemies actually. Now that I'm reading this correctly, so we're just gonna go with full force, second level to hit this thing.
The
Go
second
for it.
dragon hits Ivan.
Like, no! But the imagery's still there. It's
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
it's
that's
still
cool.
We got
became a
the
guiding
image.
bolt.
Oh,
It's
we'll
fine.
take that. I'm taking
It's
that. I'm not
fine.
erasing that.
All right, and that is a 22 to hit.
Damage.
Dang.
Let me go
All
for it.
right, here we go, baby.
Go.
Oh, 5d6. Okay, let me assemble this pool real quick.
Okay. And this is against the Oni, correct?
The Oni, yes.
Okay.
Woo. Oh man. Oh shoot. Okay. 10. Oh, nice. Okay, that is 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. So
Yes.
as this thing hits, what I'm going to describe to you as the dragon intertwines, moves up in the air, and you can see it as it rhythmically goes between the stars. Why I'm saying the stars, because the background to this is Mujun. You have all the galaxies up. You have the planets around you. These two dragons come between the two planets. This green one that would resemble Evermore as a whole turns, moves in between, and slams right into this Oni. This Oni moves its head back, grimaces in pain. And where I'm going to put this is, Yuki, you have line of sight to the Oni's back. You can look downwards on the hill. If you were looking downwards, you would see Mujin right here, kind of in that same stance with all the planets to him. Toshi being at the top point here near you. I'm going to give Toshi the action to do anything, because here's what's going to happen is, as you cast that spell, you're ignoring Toshi, I'm assuming.
Yes, no,
Toshiro
completely.
being there. Yeah.
Completely.
So that's where Toshiro is going to do his actions. At the same point, Joyi, with your radiant soul, you can see the two dragons go into this Oni. Try to use as much energy to kind of move it to the back. Ivan being the closest thing to whatever he is right next to it. Toshiro, let's get your action first before I go to what's happening down there. Toshiro, this dragon just got shot from you right on the side. What would you like to do?
So the closest target would be Yuki, right?
That's correct.
So just going on instinct of what's been planted in my head to protect House Miyazaki and Qorvi, yeah, I'm gonna move after her. And if close enough, then yes, I would strike.
Give me your attack roll and let me know what you got.
Yeah, that's not gonna work because that's a 1. So it doesn't
Nice.
matter what modifier I have.
Nice. On the one where you would move the blade and you would go, what it would do is, Yuki, you can see him bring out that blade, and it's just like the student that he is. You would just go, and how would you like to block this?
So basically, in that moment, just it's almost without even thinking, instinctively, she goes up to basically deflect the blade that's coming down above her head, and then she flicks the blade, like basically almost like ding, like almost as if like you amateur kind of to pull down the katana, so it's at his side again with the force of that back.
You still see the evil in his face, but the blade knocking it down, it's as simple as you turning your pinky. It's not a lot of energy to exert moving the weapon away from him. And that's the thing that you're recognizing, is that
And
as
she's
you're
gonna
doing this,
look at him directly in the face. I've trained you better than this. You can fight. Fight it. It's in you.
Do I feel anything or nah?
so Toshiro, give me your first Constitution saving throw.
I think that is a 14. Yeah, 14.
So what I would give you is an imagery of this. You see an older version of yourself. There's what looks like, as you are seeing all of this, it's like you're being caught in your head. It's images of just like when they got you out of the forest. You see a picture of yourself older, a lot older. You would see a gnome to the right of you and a gnome to the left of you. This gnome sits with plate mail. There's a gnome with red hair that goes all the way down to her waist. And they just look at you as if they're at awe of who you are. You have a feeling of just this great appreciation, great acceptance from the both of these two. What would you like to do? As you know, they're not there. You know, all of this is in your head, but there is a hard justification to what you're fighting, this teacher in front of you, and what's going through your mind right now.
So, because of what's been planted, for me, I would interpret it as it's just reinforcing that I need to keep doing what I'm doing, because it doesn't show me anything to kind of counter that feeling.
Yep. So that's what it is. It's just the levels of images and cluelessness. But you look at Yuki and you can recognize that hit might have done something, but whatever's holding on to him is holding on to him real tight. Let's go to Joyi. Let's go to Ivan. Let's go to Mujun. At the three fighting this Oni, the two dragons that just hit it. Ivan, you're the one closest to it. You're Joyi at the ethereal spirit, or the radiant spirit. What would you like to do as you're facing directly at this thing?
I was hoping I had more time. What's Ivan feeling?
I would say at this point, as you're looking at this thing, you can see that it displays the weakness of it. You can see the dragons that come to this. And when I say you can see truly what it is, there are people in this world that would just freak out about seeing a dragon, about freaking out about seeing a demon. You're the closest thing to a warrior of modern time to see all of this in real time in front of you. It's like seeing the battle of gods at this point. It is up to you on what you want to do to take this information. But Ivan, as one that has never been into the world of Qorvi, this mystery, this mystique, the magical energies that you see here, they're not stories. They're not just some warrior's tale. They're not just some soldier's fairy tale of a place far beyond. This is real. What would you like to do?
Ivan getting a better picture as his rage, not really rage, but just as his blood begins to build more and more with the adrenaline. He's looking around as the sweat and blood mix on his face, dribbling down onto his chin and dripping. He looks up with his left eye, seeing all of this. He almost like staggers back for a second. Woo! I'll definitely ask you for a good time. This is it. As he's going to drop his axe into his ring at his side and pull the dagger from the lowest dagger on his sheath, the one that was given to him. And I guess, Tag, you're it. As he's going to come in with the elbow first and then extend with the dagger straight into the chest of the Oni if he can get it.
I need a confirmation because you see this dragon coming at the chest of this Oni. Do you cut regardless and use that blade that you had just shown everybody to cut the Oni and potentially the dragon as well that's hitting it? Or do you just use your other weapon?
No, I said it. I'm gonna stay with the dagger.
Okay. Give me your attack roll and let me know what you got. We'll go to Joey next.
Is gonna be a dirty 20 to hit.
And you just see this right into it. And the minute you cut into this thing, you can feel it almost feels like a severance of energy. It's the minute that dragon gets right into it, you would feel as it cuts the dragon, Yuki, in a matter of a fraction of a millisecond. There has never felt an opportunity or a time that you had felt alone. You can't feel this dragon. It's as if the dragon has completely disappeared. Ivan, you would see as you are cutting what looks like your blade go right into the dragon. And if you've ever cut fish, it slides right down, using its own weight to move through. You can hear the dragon going. As it moves, you keep your blade there. You would see it as you turn, the last part of the tail bisects. And you hear this, feel like the snap that just occurs. The blade that you have in your hand begins to disappear. You feel what seems like a weightlessness on your hand. Mujun, you would see one of the 8 planets next to you, at least the ones that move around you. The one that looks white begin to move and just completely disappear. This demon looks down, looks at you, Mujun. You see it take the first steps and go, oh. It just starts to make its way towards you, holding the blade. Ivan, Joey, Mujun, you feel as if the golden dragon has been severed.
Did the Oni take any damage from the
You
strike?
can see the Oni look downwards. It looks towards you. And there's just this look on its face as if it has been, like it's lost. Like it's been stabbed by something that it should have been. And it's lost words. Ivan, is there anything you want to do in this moment as it's staring at you?
How tall is this thing?
This thing stands at about 8 feet.
Perfect. He's going to jump, and if possible, he's going to try and kick off the inside of the knee to grab onto the front breastplate. Because is it wearing a breastplate?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Grab onto the breastplate and just try and headbutt it.
Give me your attack for your headbutt.
It's going to be a 15.
So the question I give to you is, I'll allow you to do the damage to it, but you'll take half.
Okay.
Your damage for your headbutt will be considered bludgeoning damage.
Would you say D6, D4?
D6 is fine. D6 is fine.
It's going to be 4 damage, so I'll take 2.
Right into its nose, and you can feel parts of your skull crack as what you hit is like right into concrete. You put your head back and you can see blood coming down from your face. What would you like to do? Do it again?
Do it again. He's just going to stand there and keep cracking his head against it.
And
How's it feel? Huh? How you doing?
By the third one, you would have seen at least parts of the skull exposed and parts of your teeth chipped. And you can just see him just put his hair back as it looks like the blood and all the sweat go back into it. Ivan, this creature, as you stand, the first headbutt that you do, it doesn't seem to do much. The second one and the third one. Joey, it's like seeing a stranger crash their head against the cement block. But you can tell by the way his face looks that he's hurt by it. He's not letting it affect him.
Uh-huh. And
Anything you want to do.
how far are they from me now?
You're about, since you decided not to move upwards,
Yeah.
you're about 50 feet.
Okay. I'm going to use my movement for 30 feet, so 20 feet away.
Okay.
And I'm going to yeet both my scimitars at this Oni's head.
Give
And
me
his
attack
neck.
rolls.
But like, I'm going to like, hold on.
I was like, yeah, go for it, sure.
Wait, which way is the Oni facing me right now?
You have the back to, or it has its back to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
You
yeah,
have
then
Ivan in front holding, literally just doing this as much as he possibly can.
okay. Then I am going to aim for his neck with both my scimitars.
Give me an attack roll and let me know what you got.
I am yeeting these. Don't do me dirty. Right, that is an 18 to hit and a dirty 20 to hit.
So hold on to that. Its hit points are low enough. Mujin, what do you want to do?
Okay, and it was still coming towards me.
Other than this Oni, other than
Yeah,
the
the Oni.
dragon that just showed up behind you, the Oni itself tried to make a step, but you saw your friend climb onto this thing,
Yeah.
and he is just like, you can tell by the way he's doing this, he's not letting it get to you. He's not letting it, and he is just trying his best to slow it
Mhm.
down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, can't do that. Okay. I'm gonna close the distance again and keep pounding at it.
Your attack rolls and let me know what you got.
For the first, that is 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Okay, great. That
Damage.
is 4 damage.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Mujin, Juyi, Ivan. How do you three want to kill this thing? Now this is going to be important because in how you get rid of this thing is going to be very important from it coming back. But we're going to go to Yuki and Toshiro after this. Who would like to go first?
So how? Oh.
Yeah, I'm like nose game. I'm not going first. You
All right,
kidding
all
me?
right.
Okay,
Cool,
so
cool,
look,
cool.
you know what? Actually, whoever's doing blunt force trauma, you go first because I'm gonna chop.
Yeah.
His head off.
I
I'm gonna
guess-
chop his head off. So you keep going.
I guess I triggered it.
Okay, Mujin, you want to
Yeah.
describe what it looks like?
So what it looks like is, can I have the planet swirl around Mujin
Yep.
as this is happening, as he's
Yep.
winding up for this hit?
Yep.
It kind of looks like him behind me right there with that fist being
Absolutely.
drawn back, but then it almost like goes through. He's not attacking the planet, but like I want to send a planet at him, and that's what hits him.
Sure.
And that's douche. That's the first triggering thing as
Okay.
a planet flies at this Oni.
Joey, what is next? Ivan.
Ivan, having just, and I want it to be made known he chose to do this without knowing and seeing what was going on with Toshiro.
Yep.
He went on with this and just started slamming his head with the peeled skin around his face, with the light scar on the right, with his mangled ear, with his eye, just all looking at this creature, just, and then he pulls back. Freedom. Death is the greatest equalizer. Remember to smile. As he packs his face, he's going to throw his body around, and he's going to hold with the shaft of his axe, or no, it'll probably be with the shield around the neck of the creature, almost making a flat table, a perfect cutting board. right to the neck of this creature, trying to strangle it. And then seeing Joyu come in, he just smiles.
Joey, how do you want to end this?
Mujun, Ivan, duck. And she just goes in and she goes right as far as she can and just whips them forward with her red ribbons trailing behind both the scimitars as they're literally spinning like blades, going around
Nice.
across each other, and sticks into the wall after chopping his head off.
You see this thing head cut right off, the body fall to the ground. You would see the head itself, even the ribbon wraps around what looks like the stalk of the head. The scimitars slice in half. Ivan holding his shield to give you that spark that goes, because when the scimitars hit that shield, it sparks all the way up to its neck, and you would just hear this come right off. At that point, I'm going to leave that down there. Yuki and Toshiro. Yuki, as you stare at all of this happening, you would recognize, like I said, this is the very first time you feel that this dragon is not connected to you. You have Toshiro standing with his eyes still blackened. What would you like to do?
In that moment of feeling that it's almost like her breath is taken from her, just where she's almost gasping for air because it's that connection and she knows what that means. So in that moment, tears just start falling from her face almost uncontrollably. And she's kind of bent forward and she takes her blade into her hand and she just looks down and she looks Toshiro dead in his eyes. And then she looks up and she says, in Draconic, "Forever is one." And she takes the blade into her hands and she stabs herself. Now, I know this is crazy, but DM, in that moment, because she knows what the blade is made out of,
Yep.
she is trying to absorb it.
And I'll allow you to do it. As you place the blade, you can feel it just begin to open up. Would you like to describe to us what's about to happen?
In that moment, the blade basically enters her body, and she basically makes sure that it's basically like all the way through. But it's again that blinding light that all of a sudden is just brightening, like even just again emanating around her or in the entire room. And the blade itself starts to transform and its shape starts to almost like cave in, and it's again that golden color that everyone has been seeing, that has been covering her, and it's going deeper into her body, and that light starts to slowly fade, but it's now like a golden like golden rays around her, and even the hilt starts to disintegrate away, and she's basically absorbing. It's almost like you see at the center as the rays get smaller, where it has taken the form of the dragon scale, as it's closing basically the wound in itself.
All of this is happening. Toshiro, you would see Yuki kind of bent down to the ground. The Oni, or at least the feeling of the Oni being gone, but you still wearing the mask and still wearing the armor. You would see your teacher on the ground. There's a level of pain that comes from seeing something like this. What would you like to do?
Thank you. So the memory and stuff that the Oni implanted and any vision it put in, those are gone.
Gone.
I recognize Yuki.
You would recognize Yuki. You would recognize Yuki with her back to you as she sits there and holds the area she had placed the weapon in.
Is there anything the Yuki can say in this moment to Toshiro?
Yes.
As this is happening, and it's technically still that open wound, but it's now changing its shape. Still crying. She says, she looks at Toshiro again. Toshiro, you have what it takes to fight this evil. Don't let it take away your future and the future of your people. Your family and I fought to protect all that we hold dear. Never forget what I've told you. You are hope. You have always been my hope.
So coming out of this, am I foggy between what happens when we go into the fight and this period, or is there bits and pieces of memory or anything?
I would say as you're staring at this, the only thing is you have the same feeling of you waking up in that forest, not knowing where you're at, but recognizing that your teacher is one telling you this. For those that are coming from the stairs, you would see Yuki on the ground.
So I'm gonna basically put the sword to the side and kneel in front of her. Yuki-san, what is going on? The last thing I remember was facing the Oni. And I'm assuming we're outside, or we're still in the house.
You're outside.
So yeah, I'm gonna notice some of the dead and just ask her, are you okay? Where is everyone else?
Judging by the look on Yuki, what would you like to say in response?
Yuki reaches out to touch Toshiro's face. In that moment, it's as if the mask fades away. So that darkness that was covering Toshiro's face is no longer there.
Hang on, trying to get it off.
When the cosplay mask won't come off. Like, rip it off.
No, the evil is determined to
Yeah.
win in this
Yeah.
case.
The evil will
God
win.
release
Sure.
You are mine.
You were almost gone. The battle has been won. Unfortunately, there were lives lost in the process. And she also too, in that moment, you see there's not only like there's the sadness that you've seen before as far as the soldiers and the innocent lives that you saw going into the area that were taken, but you can tell that she means something like a connection even more deep than what obviously you see around you as far as dead bodies go.
So I'm gonna look at her and Gomen Sensei, I'm so sorry what I did. It must not have worked.
Don't apologize, child.
The sword is all I know, but I tried to use something of who we are as an Azamar people, and even that, it didn't affect it. And then the next thing I know is I'm in front of you.
With every loss in battle, there's a lesson to be learned. Take what you learned today, never forget it, and use it.
And I'm still kneeling in front of her, so I slowly raise up and I offer my hands to help her up.
And DM, would you like to let me know if the absorption failed or was successful?
So, before we end tonight, Yuki, you begin to stand. You can feel something is very wrong. Something is completely gone as the powers or the energy or the once the watcher of this great land of Qorvi. It's the very first time somebody would wake up and feel completely disassociated from it. It's as if the golden dragon that was once here to protect the great falls of Qorvi no longer stand. It's as if the family that you represent and you protect, it is just that. It is just you. Your final action tonight before we end today, and I give you the final explanation for episode 6.
In that moment, she takes your hand, but she doesn't rise from the ground. Instead, her eyes look hazy, and she looks like she's almost not there. In that moment, Yuki sees certain faces. She sees a tall, high elf man with tan skin and copper golden like hair, and dressed in very pristine, very regal, traditional kimono, but the robes themselves are white with golden accents throughout. And he's holding the hand of a woman who has very fair skin and very long, wavy white hair. And she's wearing a beautiful blue, like a royal blue kimono with flowers that are very similar to the flowers that adorn Yuki's kimono in the present. She doesn't see their full faces. It's almost like a mirage in a way. The features aren't quite formed, but she reaches out, and it's almost as if she's reaching out to them in that moment.
You would see them pull away from you as you would recognize that one that draws blood from the ancient dragon kings. This is the first time the spirit has completely separated from you. And this is the first time that Yuki, one that represents the greatest defense of Qorvi, will have to continue forward, protecting this land on her own. And that the students that you have raised will all be tested. Before we end today, I have a question. All of you, the ones that are coming from the stairs, you would walk and see Yuki. You would see Toshiro. One that would walk out of the house Miyazaki begins to make its way towards you. She looks very injured. She looks very lost. She doesn't know what's going on. As the fog clears, you can see this individual staring at the doorway. The only difference is she doesn't look like she's from Qorvi. She's got blonde hair, and she wears plate mail. And you can see as she's looking at you, she has very fair elven features. And she just stares at you, Yuki, as if she's lost, trying to figure out what was all this noise. But the look and appearance of her, she has very fair skin. And the only thing I can tell you is you can tell that she doesn't wear any, but she's got these really weird, I'd say about tattoos that look and represent more of like a Nordic, but you can tell on her feet there would be wings. And where she stands, she just looks and turns around and makes her way back into the building. Ivan, Mujun, Joyi, congratulations on defeating the Oni. For part 6, go ahead and increase your character's levels up by 1. Yuki and Toshiro, you will do the same. When we get back, we've got one more thing to show the world. But thank you, everybody, for today. Thank you for clearing out the Oni. And thank you for all of your energy. I appreciate you. And we will see everybody next time on episode 6, the finale for The Dragon and the Samurai.
Yay.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my
thank
gosh.
you.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks
Love
for
you.
coming.
Fare thee well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. All right.